Welcome back, everybody, to a long overdue episode of Go Blue With Stu. I am your host, Stuart Douglas. Today, we got a special guest, redshirt freshman, Will Tschetter. Will, appreciate you doing it, man.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me.
We've been looking for a guest, and you popped up, and it was perfect timing to talk about kind of this new season. And I was researching you, and it was hilarious because I didn't know fully your story. And being from Indiana and being the white shooter from Indiana, I always get the stereotype farm boy.
Yeah.
I don't know if have you seen the movie Blue Chips?
No, I'm not.
Okay, so that's your homework. You got to watch the movie Blue Chips. First of all, my favorite basketball movie ever, far and away.
All
Shaq,
right.
Penny. Anyways, there's a character, Ricky Rowe, in it, farm boy. Now, I don't think your dad was going asking for the coach for a new tractor to get recruited to wherever, I forget what the school was. But you lived the farm life, 160-acre farm, cows, pigs, syrup hunting. How was that growing up? Because it's very different from so many people. I mean, you hear about it a lot, and Minnesota has a lot of farmland, so is Indiana, but it's a very different lifestyle from other people. So can you relate with other people with that stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I have I just find time being able to, find common interests and topics to talk about or hang out and do with a lot of either teammates or people around campus. I think that's definitely unique. You obviously don't see a lot of people in college athletics, especially in this day and age, who have come from kind of a rural background.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think it's a different perspective. You obviously can bring something else to the table. A little bit of a different work ethic and perspective on just the college experience in general, and being able to have this opportunity through basketball. I probably wouldn't have had that without that. So I'm super grateful to the coaching staff and everything like that for giving me this opportunity.
No, it's funny because people talk about oh yeah, you need to play different sports to balance it out, and you took the balanced life to an extreme.
Yeah.
And I was wondering if that was a point for your parents, because they were both athletes.
Yeah.
Your mom, very accomplished basketball player. Was that a really key for them, especially during your formative years in basketball? Okay, keep that balance, Will.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was it was imperative in our household that all of my brothers and I are 3-sport athletes. There was no question whether we were going to play 3 sports. It was what sport are you going to play? So I played baseball. For instance, I played baseball until 9th grade, and I was I just really
that's a big
hard with it. It was just hard with AAU, and it just wasn't working out. Yeah. And I was can I just play AAU? My mom's my mom and my pops were just absolutely not. You're gonna find a sport. I'm okay, sounds good. So I ran distance on the track team for 2 years, and then finally I found something that I was successful at in discus, because long distance was not great. It was not great. I was probably the total opposite of what you would picture in a long distance runner. But yeah, it was. I feel just having different types of competition, year round, whether it's football, track, or basketball. I feel that was a big thing for me, just growing up and seeing all those different situations and being, with so many cool people and coaches throughout my high school years was super unique.
Yeah. No, I have verbatim right here for a question. With all due respect, why the hell did you play football that long? So even after committing and signing, you were there was still non-negotiable. You were going to play football that year, or you just had done it that long?
So I don't know if I've ever told anyone this really, but I was actually not going to go out my senior year for football, because they had originally moved the season to the spring in Minnesota because of COVID.
Yeah.
But it was kind of a last second decision, shortened season. Only I think 5 or 6 regular season games, where they moved it back to the fall. And I had a long conversation with my parents on whether I was going to do it. My high school football coach growing up, I had known him ever since I was in 2nd grade. He was a really, really good family friend. Still talk to him and keep up with him quite a bit whenever I'm home. So I just felt having that loyalty to, him and the program. I just love to play, to be completely honest. Just
Yeah. Yeah,
getting
that
back
makes
there and
sense.
just competing and having fun with my guys is something that I enjoyed to do and wanted to take full advantage of the time that I had.
Yeah, you get to college real quick and you realize like how much it's good that you cherish that, because you lose it pretty quick. I mean, don't get me wrong, being on a college team is great, but it's just a very
Mm-hmm.
different, very different
Exactly.
atmosphere.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. I think you and me had sort of similar recruitments, like in terms of like small town. I grew up in a small town.
Okay.
And then I moved to a Carmel high school. It was a huge high school. So from like 700 kids to over 4,000 kids. But you
Jeez.
stayed small town. So I was
Yep.
curious, like, even being a 6'8", I don't know how tall you were in high school, like sophomore and junior year, but with
Mm-hmm.
your, I would like quote unquote slow recruitment, and then you kind of blew up right there before
Yep.
senior year. Why was that? Was it not just getting all the exposure in AAU? Because I mean, you were scoring the ball and shooting, and you were tall. So like, what? And in today's day and age, you can see guys everywhere. So what do you think you chalked that up to?
Well, I feel like for me, it was just like the trust in, I would say my like AAU coach, John Tower is the coach at
Mm-hmm.
UST St. Thomas. But like he was just so adamant. He was like, just like stick with the people in your circle. Like things are gonna work out how they're supposed to. He was like, people are gonna find you. You don't need to go where the grass is greener. Just like keep your head down, keep working. And he was like, and people are gonna find you. And I feel like I owe it to him. I owe it to like my AU program, my high school coach. They did a great job of making sure that like who needed to see me, they did see me. And I
Yeah.
feel um like obviously I feel like a lot today kids are, switching to prep schools and stuff like that. But I feel like just the experience that I got from being in a, smaller high school, I knew every single person in my class, and just things like that. I feel like there's like something special to be said for, doing that too, and, choosing a little bit of a different path. Um, and, things did eventually work out and I got to where I wanted to be and I love it. So,
Yeah. I mean, it seems like you're grounded, and as long as you stay grounded, like that is huge. It's a bigger part of the equation than people realize. But in terms of Michigan, like your recruitment blew up. You got a lot of offers at the end in total. At what point were you like, okay, it's Michigan? Was it like from the very beginning, or was there kind of a turning point there in June, July?
I would say that obviously like it was a lot of like mid-major programs, a few
Uh,
high majors there for a while. And then when, June and July or yeah, like when like June rolled around, things really started to pick up. Um and I would say, Michigan obviously was at like kind of like a dream school where I was like, wow, like that would be like so cool. But like from like a young age, like ninth, 10th grade, I was like, maybe that's just a little bit out of my reach. But
hmm.
just kept working, like getting in the gym, listening to my coaches. And eventually, I did get to that place. And I feel like when I did get that offer, there was other schools that I felt like I had built such a great relationship with the coaching staffs and things like that. So it was a tough decision, if I'm being completely honest, on where I wanted to go. But I think at the end of the day, I trusted what, Coach Howard and the staff had like laid out for me. And, just the academics and the basketball and everything, it was just kind of came full circle. And it was just kind of the perfect fit for me.
How hard is it, truthfully, to keep that big picture? Because I did it. I went to Michigan and I was like, oh man, I could have gone to a smaller school and
Mm-hmm.
gotten more shots, more playing time.
Yeah.
But you seem like very grounded. But it's still like an active thing. You have to keep yourself grounded every single day.
Exactly.
So like, I think it's helped from what I've read to like have Isaiah with you during redshirting. But like
Mm-hmm.
when that conversation happened to redshirt, I mean, how did you take that and process it?
I feel like, coming in last year, it was like eye opening to me, high school taking, I mean, tons of shots, having the ball in my
Yeah.
hand basically every possession, to going to playing off the ball, 4-man. not having the ball in my hand as much, not taking as many shots, having to get other dudes open, setting screens. I feel like it was just such a big learning curve for me. And it came at me really fast. And I feel like what the coaches, set out in a plan for me to redshirt was just the right decision for everyone. And I feel like it was the right decision. I'm definitely happy that I did it. But like going back to your point on like having to stay grounded, like you have to like, keep reminding yourself that like it's a little bit of a marathon. Like things are, like I don't really know how to like put it, but it's just like things are gonna like work. Things are gonna work out in the long run, even though right now they don't quite seem like they're going like fantastic or you're like absolutely crushing it. But I feel like the redshirt year was definitely a lot of growth. I feel a lot better about where I'm at. Tons learned and just stuff like that. So yeah, I'm really glad with how it worked out.
Yeah. How excited, because you have those practices last year and workouts and like you're still trying to impress, right, in practice and work on
yeah, for sure.
But when that season ends and the first summer workouts start and like those open gyms start in the summer, like now it's like a different like mindset. Like how excited were you to like finally be now competing? Like you're competing for minutes.
I still remember the first workout after the season ended. It was almost like, wow, like it's really, really go time now. Like, like I have no excuses. Like it's time to put the pedal to the metal and try to, grind and, find time. And like I feel like just so excited for like this year and like what it has to bring. And just like what my role is, whatever that may be.
Yeah, no, I can only imagine. How has that been? Did you get like a little too high, or you felt like you're really showing what you worked on, and you really feel like you can contribute?
I feel like definitely with workouts like this spring, I was on campus all spring, working out with our GA. I feel like just the stuff that we worked on, I feel like like my IQ has gotten a lot better. I've been able to work on some things just on the court wise, being able to, shoot better on the move, play off 2 feet down low, different finishes, ball handling, and stuff like that. So just being able to, work on slowing the game down some more, and being able to make like educated decisions with the ball is something that we worked on a lot. And something that I feel like I can help with.
Yeah, I want to get into some of that basketball stuff, but John Sanderson, you know him very well now. He was there when I was there. Sandman.
Oh yeah.
How has that been? You, him, and Isaiah, I feel like just been attached to the hip then all year basically, huh?
Nah, yeah. Sandman is definitely my guy. I felt like last year, during the season, whether it's the pregame lifts or if it's all the time that we spend in the weight room together, I feel like we've gotten really close. Like we can talk about, obviously we talk a ton about strength and conditioning, Sandman's passion obviously is that, but we're able to talk about basically anything and everything. I'm so thankful like to have him. He's been like great. And just like all that time we spent like this spring, like I probably spent more time with Sandman like than anyone. Like we were like no one's on campus. Like we're literally just chilling in the weight room together, just like shooting the shit, just talking. So I'm like, I'm super thankful for him. He's done a ton for me. And yeah, I'm super glad to have him as our strength and conditioning coach.
Yeah, he's amazing. It's awesome that he's been there for so long and he's seen a lot of it and can give you some perspective on these things.
Exactly. He's always like talking about like how like this player is like this dude that he had like 15 years ago at North Carolina. He's like, oh yeah, you remind me of this dude, or like, oh yeah, I remember when I was at Clemson. Yeah, like, but oh yeah, like that was my guy. He just knows so many people, so it's so like cool to like hear all of like his different stories, like his journey and like how he's been able to like develop so many different dudes.
It was funny. He got the job, and the first couple of weeks we're working with him and talking with him, He's like, yeah, I played basketball at Ohio State. And I was like, did you mean like tight end or like linebacker? Like, what do you mean you played basketball? Like, is he still like yoked out and like challenging you in the weight room, still just jacked
Oh
up
yeah,
strong?
he's always talking about. He's like, I can meet you guys on the verse climber, or like or like something like that. Like
He's so
he
competitive. Yeah.
he's so competitive, and he never fails to remind us about his days. Shooting the rack at Ohio State. So
Yeah.
we're
Exactly.
so, but yeah, great dude.
It's hilarious. Yeah. He could talk to you about being a stretch four, I think maybe.
Oh yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
So you definitely try to put on some weight and some muscle, but like what other metrics
Mhm.
that have you tried to work on like athletically? I know you got some numbers because Sandman tracks everything. So like
Yeah,
what have you really improved on?
we actually just did our vertical testing today. I think I was plus 2 inches from last year.
Nice.
Yeah, but it wasn't as much like putting on weight for me. I came in pretty like quote unquote developed. I had done a lot of like lifting and stuff back home. I feel like it was just really like transforming my body, like leaning up. It's like starting like my diet. Like I really struggled coming in. Like I was eating like good stuff, but like not the right stuff. I feel like really like my like dietary like knowledge has like improved like so much throughout this last year, like figuring all that out. Like how much I need to be eating, like what kind of stuff I'm eating and like stuff like that. So he's been great along with our dietitians on that. Um, but
Yeah.
like my lateral quickness was a key point. Being able to like guard off like like screens and like switching and stuff like that. So we've done a lot on that, and I've definitely um like seen a lot of improvement and just like keep on developing strength. And obviously he's very good at doing that. So yeah,
Yeah.
like overall, like the transformation has been great. You can definitely notice just like how great he is at his job and how knowledgeable he really is at like what he's doing. So
Yeah. I want to get into some of that lateral stuff. But you reminded me of a point like we would meet with a dietitian and in college, and it wasn't until like post college and like even like recently really worrying about like having to watch what I eat and working out. I'm getting older. And I'm like, yeah, we had a dietitian in college and they'd still feed us Mr. Spots before a game. And it was like wings drenched in barbecue sauce, Philly cheesesteaks, and a milkshake. And then you're going to meet with a dietitian 2 days later. I'm like, after college, you're like, oh, that was a little weird. But like college kids, you just bounce back.
no, yeah, for sure. For
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, I would say that he's really good about us like knowing like how we need to like fuel our body, whether it's on the court or lifting. Like he's always asking us if we have like morning lifts, like what did you have for breakfast?
Yeah.
And I remember like one of the new guys to the team, he walked into the weight room and he was like, yeah, he's like, I had half a Gatorade protein shake and a small Gatorade for breakfast. And Sam had just looked at him and he's like, yeah, no, like that's not gonna cut it. That's not
Not
gonna
gonna
cut it.
fly.
Yeah, so we had to get the talk on the carbs, the protein, um, and like the fiber and like just like the stuff that
All of it.
like yeah, just all of it, making sure that we know how to be successful and like get the most out of what he's like putting us through.
Yeah. You talked about the lateral quickness stuff, and I've seen a few quotes from you talking about defense and being a focus for you. How much a lot of it is physical, right? You got to have lateral quickness, but a lot of it is learning the movement patterns, the reps,
Yeah.
being confident on defense. I never realized how much defense takes confidence
Mm-hmm.
until I got to college and really, really tried at it. How much of it for you is getting those reps, and like, how are you getting those reps? And are you seeing yourself improve with like ball screen defense and being switched out onto point guard, stuff like that?
Mm-hmm. I feel like last year, like running scout team and like being with those guys, and like you're literally getting every single rep, like up and down, up and down, up and down. Like you're like no reps off. So I feel like being able to just get those large volume of reps and like just during the season and stuff like that was huge for being able to develop, Coach Howard always talks about like our habits and like being able to develop like our defensive habits and stuff like that was huge. And then just like seeing like how much I know already like this year compared to like last year when I was coming in,
Yeah.
being able to see like the difference when really I'm still a freshman is like really encouraging to like be able to know that I'm already like ahead of like the curve. And so like, yeah, but I would say that like, to your point about how defense is a lot of confidence, like you have to like be confident like what you're saying to the guy next to you, like I'm in
Yeah.
gap, like, or like if you say the same thing, like no, like you get out, like I got this, and like
Yep.
like just being able to like assert yourself
Yeah.
out there is like huge. And I feel like just like the coaching staff has done a really good job of making sure that like we know that, and like everyone else knows that as well. So
Yeah, definitely. You talked about you were a prolific scorer in high school, and you have that ability, you have that shot making ability. Part of going up a level each time with like college basketball and pro basketball is like get in where you fit in. So it's like balancing like my skill versus, okay, I can't like show my full game, but like I want to keep showing it. So like where do you find yourself fitting in offensively where you can compliment guys, but also maybe show some bright spots? Is it pick and pop? Is it being that stretch four? Can you post up? Like where are you trying to focus on right now offensively?
yeah, I feel like this spring we worked a lot on being able to read like the defense off like a pick and pop or a like drive and kick, and then you're getting it and then like reading like a closeout and stuff like that. Being able to post up mismatches, if you get a small guy on you, working on mid-range game, like last year in high school I had a tendency to like fade away, and like I could get away with it because I was obviously like so much bigger than like most of the guys I was going against. So being able to like we worked a lot on that to correct that, and like setting screens like like pick and like pops and stuff like that. So I feel like yeah, being able to play out of screens, mismatches, reading closeouts, driving. I feel like that's really where I can kind of fit in, making sure that all the people who need to be getting the ball are getting the ball, who needs to be open is getting open, and stuff like that.
You watched any film of Mo Wagner there?
Like I've watched like games like of him, like not specifically with like the staff as much, but
Sure.
I can definitely see like obviously Mo is very, very good, but like some similarities
Yeah.
like within our games.
Yeah. Juwan, I mean, the coaches have just been raving about you for all the right reasons: character, working hard, looking good, your talent, and what they believe you can bring. And this was an interesting quote from Juwan. Is I think the gist of it was maybe not this year, but next year, like he definitely sees you as a captain. And I'm curious, like, if you were honest for a second, why do you think you would be a good captain?
I don't know. I don't really feel like there's a day in practice where like I don't bring it. Like I'm always kind of on 100, and I feel like that can also be a fault of mine. Like, where like I'm always like Coach Phil always tells me like speed limit 65. I'm always driving 70, and I'm like sometimes I just need to slow down a little bit and just like just take a deep breath. But I feel like my work ethic is always there. Always in the gym. I'm not afraid to, hold someone accountable if they're not doing like what's right. And just like my ability to kind of like read like people in general. I feel like I can connect with every single guy and just kind of know like how to like approach them if like something may not be going right. Like for a certain guy, you may need to like go and say something to him like just one-on-one, or someone else maybe a little bit more extroverted, like you got to call him out in front of everyone to get him going.
Yeah.
Or like something like that. So I feel like just my ability to like energize people and just like connect with people is kind of a gift that I have, just kind of as a team catalyst.
Yeah, it comes back to that balance that we talked about. That for a complete leader, it is that balance. And it's funny that you say stuff like that, because people are always like, all right, you got to be an exact extension of your head coach. And it's like, sometimes you got to be a little different. Like you got to take a different approach. You got to pull a player aside. Sometimes you do have to repeat what the coach is saying. So yeah, that balance is huge. So if you already have that mindset, yeah, I believe you'll be a hell of a leader for them. Whenever that time comes, and you're still so young and coming into this freshman year. So it'll be fun to watch. Speaking of leaders, Hunter coming back, it was interesting to see the landscape changing with Michigan basketball, right? And who's going to come back, who wasn't, who's transferring in, blah, blah, blah. And Hunter coming back, and, it was a little surprising that he came back for a sophomore year. So it seems like this really means a lot to him. Like he's coming back, and from all reports, and, you can take it for a grain of salt with people watching workouts and stuff, but he's been pretty vocal and pretty serious. Has that been pretty accurate? He's been pretty intense with some workouts, and like he's a little bit on a mission here.
Yeah, Hunter's definitely showed that he's taking a little bit of a different approach this year. Like he was never one like last year to like not be in the gym or things like that. But I feel like this year he's taking like the whole aspect seriously. Last year, I feel like he was maybe like he would totally like agree with the statement. He was focused on maybe like himself a little bit more. Like I mean, as he should have been, he was trying to get to the NBA. That was like what he had envisioned for himself. But I feel like this year he is like totally bought into making sure that like we make a run in March and like being able to win games, regular season, postseason, all the time. And I think he's shown that in how he changed his diet. Like this spring when I was with him, he was like extremely serious about like what he was eating, what he was fueling himself with, changing his body, like lifting weights seriously, like workouts, like he's putting in the work on the floor, just kind of perfecting his craft. Obviously he has so many tools already. And then I feel like the biggest difference this year is just like his leadership really taken. Like last year he was definitely a leader for our team.
Yeah.
But I feel like this year he's taking more of like that servant leadership role, like being able to, like go up to someone and be like, yo, like you good, like, and like helping them through it and like show them the way that things are meant to be. And I don't know, I feel like it's just great for our program, it's great for the culture, and I think it's gonna help him out in the long run ultimately the most. So yeah, I'm really like proud of his development, just like where he's came and how much he's grown really as just like a person. Like you can just see like the difference in like his maturity from like when I first got here last year as a freshman to like my second year now.
Yeah, that a lot of times, freshman and sophomore will be a big jump, but sometimes sophomore or junior year can be like earth-shattering stuff, especially mentally. And I made comments last year like, okay, he had a hell of a freshman year. Now he's got the confidence basketball-wise. It's going to be scary for the Big Ten sophomore year. And it was, especially towards the end. But now he's got like this confidence of being a leader and directing a team. And that's like a totally different mindset. So I'm even more scared for the Big Ten this upcoming season than I was last year, which is kind of, that's scary in itself to think of.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Before, I got a few things to end here. We'll get you out of here pretty soon, but I want to talk to you about the NIL stuff. Obviously, Tschetter being your last name is such an easy target. When are we getting shirts? Do we have shirts? Do we have these blockheads? I know it's Wisconsin, but like, when are we getting some stuff?
We gotta establish ourselves a little bit more before we can roll out the merch. But
it's fair.
I'm hoping that with like what NIL has in store for college athletes, that eventually I'm in that position where I can maybe make some money off my unique last name. But
it's right there. It's right there.
Yeah, it's just right there.
I just mentioned spots earlier. They got cheesesteaks, cheddar. I mean, it's all available. But yeah, you're right. You got to take some time, I guess.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, we got. I usually end with 3 quick hitters to end these podcasts. Now, one is I make guys choose between Skeeps or Ricks, and I usually don't. I usually don't talk to guys that are underage. So we'll come back to you in a few years when you're 21.
Okay.
You tell me Steve's Ricks. We'll skip that one. But number two, what's your favorite spot in Ann Arbor?
Like to eat or just to like hang out?
It could be either one.
All right. Well, I would say that my favorite place to eat is, well, the spot that I eat at the most is a State Street Chipotle. I know my buddy Ian on the team always makes fun of me that I have it at least 5 times a week. But I would say that my favorite place to eat is probably the Jolly Pumpkin. I love to go
Cultured
there.
Pick.
Yeah. Or I don't know, I'm kind of a foodie, so I would say Pretzel Bell has really good food. Chapala's Taco Tuesday deal is a good one.
Oh yeah, you're all over it.
Monahan's Fish Market. I would say that's probably my favorite right now.
Where's Zingerman's?
Zingerman's is so expensive, but when we get our little Fuel and Blue, that's the place to go. I would say that, you know, they have a good sandwich, but I would say right now, if I had to pick my favorite restaurant, it'd be Monahan's Fish Market.
Yeah, I wasn't smart enough. We just ate in like 5 spots and I saved my money. And then like after school, I was like, holy crap, there's really good food.
Yeah, there's
really good
so much good
food in Ann Arbor. Like even when I was of age, like, oh man, there's really cool bars, and I didn't go to any of them besides Steve's. That was it. So don't make my mistake. But I got my question for you is Pancheros. Is that still there?
Right next to the Brown Jug?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's there. Actually, one of our managers works there.
Oh, it's the best. It's still my favorite spot. I got to go back. Okay, that's good to know. All right, last thing, and then we'll get you out of here. I ask most people what is the one thing that they learned they still carry with them to this day in Michigan, but for you, you're still there. But what's the most important thing you've learned so far in your time at Michigan?
I feel like the University of Michigan in general, I've just learned like the value of like relationships. Whether it's, you know, within like the PDC and Chrysler and like the basketball, or whether it's, you know, like making friends and meeting people in like classes. Like I really enjoy like meeting people within like my major and like what I'm like really passionate about, being able to talk to, you know, those people about outside of basketball and having that outlet. And then obviously like having like my teammates and my coaches and being able to talk about like another one of my, like, obviously like my lifestyle. So I feel like just in general, like the value of relationships at the University of Michigan has taught me that like you can learn something from everyone. And, you know, having the ability to make so many new connections here is like really valuable. And I feel like I'm fortunate that I've learned that so early on in my time here, because like I'm just going to meet more and more people every year. And, you know, I'm super excited about like what's to come. So
yeah, no, it's easy to get in a bubble. That is for sure. No matter what you do in life. So that perspective
no, for sure.
Good. It's yeah, you got a really good head on your shoulders, Will. I got no worries for you at all, and literally whatever you do. And I appreciate you coming on here. It's going to be fun watching you and seeing what happens, and hopefully we can get you back on, you know, a future episode.
All right, I appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Appreciate you.